There we go. All right. It is Monday, October 14th. And we decided Danny, Ashley, and I went to San Diego this weekend to Brendan Burchard's influencer conference. I did not know what to expect, to be honest. I thought for sure we'd get motivational speaking. I thought maybe some tactics on how to grow your Instagram account, how to grow Facebook, where things are at, where they see things going. To my surprise, it was a lot of talk about being authentic, how people are sick of the crap they're seeing online and the fakeness and the posed stuff and the just inauthentic content, and how all of the people that spoke really took off in their business once they kind of broke down their own barriers and their own walls and really started to share from the heart and stop trying to hide who they really were, things about their life that maybe they were embarrassed of, and things like that. So when we were kind of wrapping things up, we were talking and we're like, how did we feel like when we were in the biggest growth part of our business? And we all said when we had these calls it was called Rock the Business 4.0, was personally my favorite thing in the world. Shelly had that. It was just so good. And I feel like it's because I felt truly connected, 100%. I had you had to watch and listen to certain personal development throughout the week, and then you met on a team call to kind of debrief and discuss things that were going on in your business. So it was less of a overall call, and it was really a deep dive into each person's business, where they were struggling, where they could improve, where they were stuck, things like that. So we're like, hey, how can we take this information that we learned here and then Trina's knowledge and give it to the team? So we're like, how about for the rest of October, we do a call Monday through Thursday, and really try to get to know where people are stuck, share some of the content we learned at this conference versus trying to share it all in one team call, and then kind of go from there. So we thought if it went well this month and maybe more leaders want to kind of jump in and we can continue them, we'll see, but we'll start here. Okay, so is anybody a new coach, 1 month or less? Megan, did you raise your hand? Month 2? Can I unmute you? There we go.
Yeah, well, technically September. So this is the beginning of third month.
That's awesome. Who's your coach?
Yeah. Carly Wunderlich.
Okay. Is she on here?
No, I think she was busy.
Oh, okay, cool. Tell us how you signed up and why, why you signed up. What made you want to be a coach?
Sure. I actually started Beachbody in college about maybe 5 years ago. Did T25 and got awesome results, and then graduated and life got in the way. And then I started again with Carly. We were both from the same city and knew each other, and then kind of did a couple programs with her as a challenger, honestly half-assing it, and I wasn't all in and wasn't getting the results, but I wasn't doing well on my nutrition either. I wasn't doing Shakeology. And then I went on a summer vacation and realized that I wanted to come back and give it my all. And because it was really challenging. I went to Arizona and I was hiking all the time, and I just couldn't pull my weight. And I was like, I'm done. This is it. I need to just go all in and see what it takes. And so the only time that I ever got real results was with T25, doing the nutrition, 21-day fix right after that, and then doing the Shakeology. So I was like, that has to be the missing key. And so I decided to do Morning Meltdown 100. I'm on day 79 today, and I've only missed 2 days because I just really wanted to do every single day and challenge myself to do something out of my comfort zone. And it's been amazing. So I love every minute of it, and I just want to bring others on the journey with me. So
that's amazing. Yeah. How cool. I love your story. Kind of reminds me of Danny's. She's like, I did the programs, but I wasn't doing the nutrition part and I didn't get results. It's, it really does take that moment where you have to draw a line in the sand and you're like, I need to go all in. I don't feel good. I know I could be doing better. That's amazing. Cool. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks for being on. Okay, cool. Anybody else? Hey, Ashley, driving. Okay, so tonight we thought the topic would be a good one to kick off with belief and growth. And the reason being is because if you don't believe in yourself, it's going to be really hard to build a business, period, let alone authentically. And kind of break down those barriers of things that are maybe holding you back in your business, in life. We talked about this a lot this weekend, and it felt really good to just kind of like speak it, call yourself out on it, and find ways to get past it. So, couple of the things that I'll just give you the schedule of the week, just in case you guys don't know. So today we're going to talk about growth and belief. Tuesday will be objections and then self-limiting beliefs specifically. Wednesday will be social media deep dive, and Thursday will be plan and execute. Okay, so growth and belief today, objections and limiting beliefs Tuesday, Wednesday, social media deep dive, and then Thursday, planning and execute. We had a Saturday Q&A on there, but we took it out just because Saturdays are hard. Saturdays are always hard. So I know a lot of us have coffee talks on Saturday, so we thought we'd just leave it as is. Okay, let's dive in here and get to work. So first and foremost, I want to tell you guys that the world needs us. The world needs us. I feel like there's an epidemic of like negative people. I was standing in line actually to board my flight leaving San Diego, and this woman behind me was giving me anxiety. She was like, why isn't this line moving? What is wrong? And I was just like, wow, it's shocking to me when people behave that way, because I have excluded, like, I feel like since coaching, we're in a completely different world. We're surrounded by positivity. We're encouraging each other. We're not beating each other down. And like hearing that, I was like, oh my gosh. And then on the way to San Diego, I was boarding a flight, and the Delta, the flight attendant said to me, good, hello, how are you? You know how they say to everybody that walks on the plane. And I was like, I'm good. How are you? And he stopped and stood back and looked at me. I was like, what? And he's like, I have never been asked that before. I do this every day. And I was like, what? I'm like, I'm shocked, but yet not shocked at all. And I'm really sorry. And he's like, I'm shocked that you asked me that. And like, it actually makes me feel really good. And I was like, wow. So in saying that, the world definitely needs more of us. The social media needs more positivity, uplifting, and authentic influence, to be better and do better, and a little bit of belief in people that they are capable of changing their lives. And I know we say that and it sounds so cliche sometimes, but really, truly, I think that everybody on here can share one way or another that this has positively impacted their life. So I feel like we need to be doing more of that and getting more people in this circle. So I know that it's like really easy when you first start out as a coach to share pictures of your shake or pictures of just your workout, and get burnt out after a couple months because you feel like nobody's interested in what it is you're selling. Or when you first start, you feel like you really want to get Success Club, or you really want to help that first person, but it doesn't feel authentic because you feel like you're selling because you're trying to get your first sale. Can anybody relate to that, where you have felt like in your business it feels really forced? Maybe you're sharing things that you don't like feel comfortable or confident sharing because you're like, this is weird. This doesn't feel like me. This doesn't feel authentic. I think probably all of us at one time. I used to post a ton of pictures with my shake by my face, with my shaker cup. The Shakeology had to be showing. And I really found my footing in this business when I changed my message. And it was difficult for me because I sometimes felt like I was not sharing enough about fitness, enough about nutrition. But when I was all in with those two things and those two things only, it felt really forced. It felt really inauthentic, and it felt all for Success Club, all for sales. And I think there was a disconnect there. So I want to share with you how we can do both. So I have 4 questions for you that I want you guys to answer in the chat and blow it up and get this going. And this will really help us make some waves during this call. So the number one question is, what are you most grateful for in your life right now? Today, this month, whenever, just something that you're really grateful for right now in your life. Family. That's a big one, I think, for all of us. My family, my healthy daughter and our new family, my kids, my family, time well spent with them, my grit, for how much family time I've had lately. Grateful for a healthy family and 2 sweet puppies. Most grateful for a supportive family friend group challenging me, my daughter, my family, my children, my Earthside kids, my family. Okay, so everybody says family. Ooh, new love. How exciting. Yeah, so there are really good things going on in all of our lives right now. And sometimes when we feel as though we have to post on social media for our job or to grow or to really take off with this business, we can feel conflicted. I know that we've all been there. A big conversation that we had kind of behind the scenes this weekend was I need to set limits of when I'm on my phone and when I'm not. I feel like I'm on my phone a lot at night. As of lately, I feel like it goes in waves. Like I'm either really good about it or I'm really bad about it. Before my trip, I was feeling like pretty cloudy headed, frustrated, just in like a weird headspace. And I was on my phone constantly. I was scrolling constantly, just aimlessly scrolling. And something was shared with me literally in the airport. My mother-in-law took my daughter to dance. And she said, whoever Liliana's mom is, I could slap right now. And I was like, what? And my mother, if you know her mother-in-law, is not confrontational. She does not talk that way. And I was like, what is happening at dance? Like it's 2-year-old tap dance. What's going on? And she said her mom was on the phone the entire time. Like, I don't know what she was doing, but she was on her phone the entire time. And she had like a 2-year-old there with her that had class next. And she said the little girl was trying to get her mom's attention and she was like, stop it, go over there. And it escalated to the point where the mom was so frustrated with her bugging her while she was on her phone that she spanked her in the dance waiting room. And this dance waiting room is small. And she said, I just watched her mom progressively get more and more frustrated with her, like the cutest little thing on earth, because she was on her phone. And she's like, what could have possibly been more important? She's like, I was just shocked. And I was like, that's an extreme example, but I'm like, how many times have I been on my phone doing nothing when I could have been doing something with my kids or reading them a book or playing with them or, getting ready more effectively in the morning for school instead of checking Instagram. So while that was an extreme example, it was kind of a gut check for me. And we were talking this week and I'm like, I'm going to put my phone down from 3:00 to, let's say I have a call at 7:30, that time. And that's going to be for my kids. And I really needed to draw that line in the sand. And I know people on this call, a lot of you have full-time jobs and it can be difficult to also work this business, but I want you to really take advantage of planning out your day so that you do not feel like you are only on your phone at night. But I also want you to have a gut check with yourself and ask yourself, what are you doing when you're on your phone? Do not blame this business if you are not doing business activities. That can be really easy to do too. It's really easy to say like, oh, I don't have time to build my business. I don't have time for Beachbody. When I asked in my team page, can you guys go on your Instagram app quick and just tell me how much time was spent on that app today? I had 2 people respond. And I know why, because it's embarrassing. And I guarantee it's not for business building activities. It's for scrolling. It's for watching other people's stories. So when you think of what you're most grateful for, you want that to be the most important thing in your life. When you're building a business, that can feel conflicted. So I want to encourage you guys to plan better. Use your time better. Draw lines in the sand for when you're willing to work on your business and when you're not. That line in the sand also has to be congruent with what your goals are in this business. If you are making $14 a month right now and you want to / need to be making $500 a month right now, if what you're doing right now isn't projected to get you there, you need to change your line in the sand. I know that can be hard and it feels like you have to put in 500 hours, but you don't. You don't. Just stop scrolling and start planning better. Okay, so number 2 is, why are you here? That gets to the goal. Like, what do you want? I know we all want to help people, you guys, so I don't want that to be your answer. I want to help people. I would love to help somebody lose 20 pounds. I would really love to help somebody lose 20 pounds and join my team and be able to pay for the student loan bill that's hanging over her head and stressing her and her husband out each month. Why can't she join our team, lose weight, get healthy, feel good about her mindset, also help people along the way, and pay off a bill that's stressing out her marriage? That's what I want to do. So my bigger vision that I am so strongly set in that nothing can sway me is what is it when you close your eyes and you think, in 5 years from now, if I continue to show up and stop lying to myself and saying I'm working this business as hard as I know I can, what would my life look like? And I know exactly what my life would look like. And I hope you guys do too. Not hitting Success Club and debating on quitting this business, you do not have a strong enough why. Missing a rank and debating on quitting this business, you do not have a strong enough why. If the option of throwing in the towel is even an option, you don't have a strong enough why. People who have a strong belief and a strong vision and a strong why don't bring a towel to throw in. I've never debated on quitting this business. Has it been hard? Absolutely. Is anything worth having hard? Yes. Emily says, I would like to eventually make enough to drop to 4 to 5 hours at my regular job. Emily, your post last night broke my heart. That post, if you guys aren't friends with Emily, friend her on Facebook. It was a post about moms like having to say no to their kids because they don't have enough hours banked up at work to be able to, hold on, someone's unmuted, to take time off. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that's a problem. I know it happens all the time because it happened to me when I worked full time, but I'm like, that's not okay. Anyway, so work 4 to 5 hours. I want to help women gain confidence and fall back in love with themselves. I want to personally gain financial independence and beat my goal of living a student-free debt. Okay, so Morgan, I want to challenge you a little bit on this. So you want to help women gain confidence and fall back in love with themselves. What happens when you have 5 people that are running with you and you're showing up in your challenge groups and you're all checking in, and then Susie falls off the wagon and you message her and she ignores you? And then you message her again the next month and she ignores you, and then she cancels everything. And then let's say the next one, it happens to her and you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? I feel like in this business, Trina always says this, you have to have heart and armor, but I don't think that can be your why, because that isn't in your control. So you could have women join you and gain confidence and fall back in love with themselves, but if they continue to let you down, it's going to be really hard for you to stick around. So instead, connect your why to that, plus what does financial independence? How much money is that? Get specific. Get specific so you can measure that goal. Is that $500? Is that $5,000 right now? What would that look like? And reverse engineer it. How many people do you need to help a month to get to your first step of that goal? Break that down much deeper.
The other thing that, just piggybacking off of what Theresa just said, the first part, I think it was Morgan you're speaking to. If like making sure that you are living as the example of the woman who is the healthiest, whatever, you know, your why or your mission is to be the example for women, so you can control you. And I forget the rest of the mission of who she's
Yes.
helping, but
I love that. Yeah. Be that positive influence on social media. Be that person. They'll see that in you, and that will attract them to want to join you. And that will naturally happen then. So obviously we all want to help women. But if we're always just depending on them to join us, and that's going to be the key to our happiness in this, it might be difficult. So anyway, reverse engineer those goals, get really specific. If it's an income goal, what's the income? Okay, so for starters, I want to be able to cover monthly payments on a new camper because my family spends most weekends at the campground in the summer. Again, pick a specific dollar amount. That's really good. Since I've been a coach, my anxiety has significantly dropped. I posted about this today. It's felt so good to focus on me, bettering myself in the last few months while helping others. Eventually, I would like to make enough to be a stay-at-home mom when that day comes. I love that. And like, she's got a wedding coming up, and she's feeling good about her anxiety. That says a lot, because weddings are not an easy feat. So yes, Lizzie, start focusing on that. Like, your full-time income now earns you X. What would significantly lower your stress about finances each month going forward? Or what would you like to have in your bank account when you have a baby? So you have that on maternity leave, so you're not stressed out there. Start thinking about those little things and attaching a specific dollar amount to that. I want to be able to provide all my and my kiddos' needs as a single mom, getting no monthly support, and let others know they aren't alone in their health journey when life and emotions get in the way. That's amazing. That's a strong why, you guys. Right there is a really good example of a strong why. Corey, move into our dream house without being anxious about money. So think of that dollar amount that you would need in order to not feel anxious. You know, maybe would looking at your savings account and having X amount of money in there make you feel better? Danny and I were talking about this, and like, we both like to shop a lot. And I'm like, I would love to, have a separate account and save $10,000 in there that my husband doesn't know about, and then like use it for something cool and surprise him or whatever. But I'm like, each time I go to shop and buy a shirt, I need to say I could be transferring 25 bucks into that savings account, or I could spend it. And so we were kind of talking about that back and forth this weekend. Lori, one less day a week means earning $2,400 a month. Yikes. You can do that. I did that while working full time. You can totally do that. And you know, I used to use this, I'm sure Shelly, you probably remember this too, the Team Cycle bonus calculator in Excel. And I remember punching in like what my goal was, and then it told me how many people I needed on Shakeology HD each month. And I was like, well, that'll never happen. It just seemed like such a huge number. And I'm like, I don't feel like this is an accurate description of what I need to grow. You guys, I can just tell you, a lot of people have let Success Club go to the wayside because maybe 1 month was hard, maybe a couple months was hard. I want to tell you that having small measurable goals in your business is super important to continue to go in the direction you want. Success Club 5 means simply, and if you get hung up on the Success Club thing, think I need to help 3 people start this month with the ultimate package, which is fitness, nutrition, and accountability, or fitness, nutrition, in your team, which is also accountability. And use that as a measure, and saying you're bringing new people into your circle each month, and hopefully 1 or 2 of those people becomes a coach. So I would go for Success Club 6 and at least 1 of those people being a coach. If you want to step it up, go to Success Club 10 and at least 2 of those people are coaches. I think we're doing people a disservice by not offering the coaching opportunity at every single sign up, because this is the ultimate accountability. Look at Megan. She shared before. She'd done it before. She dabbled. She quit. She did it before, dabbled, quit. Now she's doing it, getting awesome results. She's on a team and she's on a call like this on a Monday night. Like, everybody would love that. Another thing we kept hearing this weekend is people are missing what they're craving most in life, and that's human connection. One of the speakers, I can't remember who it was, said that more and more people are booking massages simply because they haven't been touched by another human being in so long. And that as humans, we need that, like physical touch, emotional touch, connection. That's why social media is also so huge, because there are those accounts online that you look forward to seeing, you crave, you feel like you're their friend, and you want more. I found the massage thing so interesting, and I'm like, wow, that's so true. You know? Okay. Go to PRN at work and feel like I'm financially contributing to the family and pay off, if not more. My shorter why is, hold on. It's moving. My shorter why and the bigger why is to get my husband out of his job and into a less stressful position. I've hit my goal of getting my marriage healthier and getting my husband in a healthier lifestyle. That's amazing. Getting your marriage healthier is going to help a lot of things. I think when there's tension there, it's hard. It's hard. There's no denying that. So good for you for doing that. And again, think of what would that number look like, and what are you currently doing, and what do you need to execute to make that happen? Okay, dropping Monday would only mean $860 a month. That's so doable. So doable. The biggest thing that will help you guys grow your income is adding to your team and getting your team engaged on calls, getting them engaged in challenge groups. If they can't show up as a challenger, they're going to have a hard time showing up as a coach. If they're having a hard time checking into the groups their first few months, they're probably going to have a hard time as a coach. So get them involved, get them engaged as quickly as you can. And I know we can lead a horse to water, but we can't make them drink. But if you're showing up hard and you're holding the challenge group and they're adding their people in there, you show up hard. And if they don't, that's on them, but show them the way, show them what's possible, and they'll see that. Okay, I'd love for it to pay for daycare. Okay, so basically, guys, take what you want, break it down, get super specific on the amount that it's going to take or what it looks like in depth so that you can measure that goal and reverse engineer it to work towards that. Okay. What do you already know that you need to execute on? So what's something that, maybe has been like hanging over your head in your business and you're feeling stuck with, that if you just executed on it, you would be moving a step forward instead of staying idle? How long did it take you to get to 2,400 while working full time? Definitely under a year. I quit my full-time job at a little over a year, and I was making about $4,000 a month when I quit my job. I got there by, and I'm not kidding you, and there's no secret to this, being super engaged with team calls. I never missed them, ever. Like, if I had to, I watched the recording as soon as it was posted. I was obsessed. Second thing I did was, in the morning, I would work out and I would share it in my stories or post about it. At lunch, I would do something else that was a needle moving activity in my business. Not just like, I don't know, things that aren't going to move my business forward. I did a needle moving activity in the pockets that I had. So in the morning, shared my workout. So I shared the lifestyle as a coach. At lunch, I did something. And after my kids went to bed, I worked. And I say worked, some nights that was 15 minutes, some nights that was 2 hours. But I would say consistently, I can say that I put an hour into my business each day. My goal was SC in the beginning, Success Club 5 and a new coach. When I got serious and I really wanted to quit my job, it was Success Club 10 and add 2 new coaches a month. That's all I focused on. And we had this thing called the leadership ladder. I checked it like every day, even though it wasn't updated every day. And it would tell me what I hit for Success Club the last month and what my goal should be this month. And then it said like what my commissions were last month or what my income was the last month and what it would be projected to if I hit that goal. And you guys, I can just tell you this, it was almost always try to hit Success Club 10. And the coaches are what is going to increase your income faster. I need to dive into my team and lead better. Super consistent with my personal business and journey. I need to share that, which will hold me accountable to become the leader I know I can be. I also need to get into a better routine and to have pockets of time. Yes. And if you find yourself saying that you need to do something over and over and over again, and for whatever reason, month after month, you just haven't taken action on it, I challenge you to do that. If that means hosting team calls for your team, if that means scheduling out one post a week in your team page, if that means recognition every single week for somebody on your team, no matter what it is, if it's a team cycle bonus, if it's their first Success Club point, if it's they're being super consistent and you're noticing them doing that. A leader can be so many different things in this business. And sometimes I think the weight of being a leader is so heavy, it's easy not to do. It's easy to avoid. So doing something that will get you closer to feeling like you are that, do that. I need to get back to the weekly tracker. When I did it every day, hit SC12 and I pushed to do the vitals and then following up. Believing in myself. Hold on, I think I missed something. Inviting and believing in myself. Or no, that's not the same one. Hold on. Consistency and believing in yourself. If you can't be consistent for yourself, be consistent for your why. If you're finding yourself not being consistent, you need to have a stronger why. Hold on, somebody's unmuted. Oh, there. If you can't believe in yourself for somebody else. If you're a mom, that's super easy one. If you don't believe in yourself, why are your kids going to believe in themselves? Are you role modeling that? It's easy to like tack that onto your kids. Like you'd never want your kids to say they don't believe in themselves. That would break your heart. So how do you show them that you do? Consistency. Well, make a plan and stick to it every day. The first person we bail on is ourselves. So often we'll do anything for anybody else and we're the ones left at the roadside. Yay, Rachel's reading Get Over Your Damn Self. It's perfect for this call. Can you schedule posts on Facebook for group pages? Yes. Can you? Yes. Yep. Like in a team page? If so, yes. I need to start inviting coaches to get to Emerald. Yes. Megan, with inviting, you guys, I want you to think about this. Just ask yourself this every single night. Did you matter today? Did you love today? Did you live intentional today? Stop thinking about like what your road looked like before getting on this call. Whatever led you to this call, you're here and you have the choice and the option to change what that future looks like. When you get on social media, don't think of it as a sale. Your followers are not there to serve you. You are there to serve your followers. If you're constantly just selling and showing your workouts and your shakes, what's going to get them to stick around? Your workouts will motivate them most definitely, but how about instead of just showing your workout clip, you share on that workout clip the conversations you were having with yourself before you decided to press play on your workout. I've been trying to be really intentional with this lately, and I've been sharing like, I don't know, when I was in San Diego, I was like, it would have been so much easier to skip this workout this morning. And then like in the next thing I put, but I'm going to feel so much better now that I did. Success is hidden in your morning routine. Just something like that that's going to add value and make people think. Think about the current, when you're posting, Think about the current conversations your ideal customer is having in their head. So we almost all shared, like, we're most grateful for what? Family. Is your ideal customer, client, coach, whatever you want to call it, grateful for the same things as you? How can you speak to them? Not every single post has to be an invite. It can be just adding value. And I want to share what I posted tonight, just to give you an idea. So I posted just literally just this thing. It says, "You're a good mom." But instead of just saying tag a mom below, like I probably would have before last weekend, I decided to say this, and I'll just read it to you really quickly. Simple words that can warm your heart up in 3 seconds. It takes a village, friends. I want to share a story with you from today. I took my son out of school at 9:45 for an eye doctor appointment, even though he convinced his grandma he was sick last week and missed school to pick apples, but oh well. I was checking him back into school and I noticed a friend's child sitting in the nurse's room. I know she travels for work and doesn't have family nearby. I asked the nurse what was wrong and I texted my friend to see if she was in town. She was not. As a matter of fact, she had just arrived to her first appointment for the day that was 90 minutes away. I've got him. I can run. I have to run one errand and I'll be back and get him and take him to my house. She called me immediately. Are you sure? If you do that, I could get in 2 more appointments and come home. That way I'd get in a half a day of work and I wouldn't feel behind. Absolutely, I said. When you see a mom that's frazzled, tell her she's a good mom. When you see a mom that's not frazzled, tell her she's a good mom. When you see a mom, tell her she's doing a good job. There's so many situations that arise where we feel like we're behind or we're failing and we're not. It takes a village. Tag yours below. Way more impactful. I got into the head of the mom that I am probably more than likely serving on my page. I mean, she literally is the girl that I know, like a friend that went through this today. So how many other women probably went through something similar? So I really tried to get in the conversation that my current customer was maybe having with herself, instead of saying something just like, take a mom friend below, share this if you're a mom. So easy to do that, but that would not be sharing with intent. Okay. And what was the last question? What do you need most help with in your business right now? Another thing I talked about this weekend was sharing your scars, not your cuts. So when we're being authentic, sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, like I'm in the thick of this right now. It's kind of scary to post this. I don't want to. I'm going to feel judged. Rachel Hollis had a really good example. She said, I was sharing crockpot recipes as a food blogger before this one post. Literally every post before it was crockpot recipes. And she said, and then I got Bell's palsy because I was working myself to death. Half of my face went paralyzed out of the blue, and I had it for weeks. So I decided to cut the bullshit and be authentic and tell them what was really going on and why I didn't feel like sharing another crock pot recipe for the day. And so she did a whole post on what her scar. So she shared it after she'd been through it and sharing what she was doing about it. So she said, you know, if you're in it and you don't feel like you've got a grasp on it and it just feels messy, don't share it yet. And if you do share it, make sure that it has an upswing to it, what you're going to do about it, what you're doing about it, how you're working through it, how you're going to get to the other side, what steps you've taken, what's helped you so far. And she said, had I not shared that, she said it's still her #1 viewed blog post, you guys. Still, she's like she said upper 8 figures is what the Hollis company is earning right now. Upper 8 figures. So, you know, if you share, for me, like I feel kind of negative when I share about my thyroid stuff. because when I'm in the thick of like a bad bout with my thyroid stuff, I feel negative. I feel uninspirational. I feel depressing. I feel like I'm crying about it. But what I have to remember is, what's my ideal client having a conversation with in her head? You guys, I'm not lying about this. You can ask Ashley. I told her this weekend. Somebody who used to coach, not on my team, but on Team Rockstar Fit, quit coaching, and she kind of went out in a pretty negative way. Joined a different team, and a lot of people were upset with her. Like, it was ugly. And I never deleted her, never blocked her. I kind of kept my distance for a while, and we have kind of rekindled our friendship just via DMs once I started sharing stuff about my thyroid. And she messaged me and she wanted some Shakeology. And I was like, well, you know how this works. So for $10 more, you can get a challenge pack and you can get access to the work. Why don't you do that? She's like, okay. So she does that. And then she continues to message me and be like, asking me more questions about my thyroid. And we were talking, and she's like, I just feel really tired. I don't know what's wrong. I feel really cloudy headed. I'm anxious all of a sudden. And I was like, go get your labs tested. So she did. Then she came back and she said, oh, they're all normal. And I said, that happened to me too. Push harder, go to an endocrinologist. She did. She has a tumor on her thyroid. She got it biopsied today. And she was like praying that it's not cancer. And I'm like, what if I wouldn't have shared my thyroid stuff? What if she didn't know to ask me? And what if she would have just accepted your labs are normal? It's hard to share the messy stuff. It's really hard when you feel like it's really messy and you have to show up online and be this picture perfect example of a health and wellness coach because you're a Beachbody coach. That's BS. That's the stuff people are sick of. So if it's messy, share the messy, but share what you're going to do about the messy, what you're doing about the messy. Danny does a great job with this. She has arthritis in her hands, and you'd never know it, but she shares in her stories. If you've ever noticed why I do everything on my hands, on my fingertips, it's because it helps relieve some of the pain. When Danny reaches a woman who has been struggling with arthritis and she wants to be active and she just hasn't done it because of the pain, she might go to Danny now and be like, I see that you still work out. You have arthritis. Can you help me? In addition to the arthritis, I'm 20 pounds overweight. I don't feel like myself and I can't fit into my clothes. That's why you share that stuff, not to air your dirty laundry out, but to help other people. Be authentic, create connections. People crave that. Ashley, I'll try to rush on tomorrow morning to hear it. Okay, cool. All right, well, I went 17 minutes over, and I feel like I could keep going. I have like one whole page of notes left, but let's just end on this. Be so strong in what you envision for your life that consistency isn't an excuse anymore, that throwing in the towel isn't an option anymore. The clock is ticking no matter how you spend your time. So I want to encourage you to plan your time better. Be with your family. They deserve you. They deserve a fully present you. And know that this business can 110% change your life. Yeah, that's all I have. If you have any questions, I can stay on. My kids are being fine, and it's not 8:30 yet. So
Yeah, let's take a question. Theresa, that was really good stuff. But I'd like to know, like, let's get somebody that's having struggle with a belief or really that they're having about their business. That would be really cool. If there's something in your business that kind of is like, that's not serving you well and it might be holding you back, just unmute yourself and we can see the microphone change.
Yeah. Or if you feel like you're struggling in something in your personal life and it's not feeling congruent to being like this super positive person online right now, we can help walk you through that and like maybe the steps on like how to share that. I can tell you it kind of feels good. Feels good to share. It feels good to break down those walls and like stop sharing what you think you should be sharing and start sharing what you really want to share. That's when you're going to find your ideal tribe.
When your vulnerability is high, your shame goes low.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what we learned. Somebody said that this weekend. It's really powerful. Yeah. Cool.
Rachel?
Okay. So something that I've been struggling with for like 2 weeks is I found out that my sister-in-law, who works with me, when I was on maternity leave and I first started like really getting into this, and I was like posting things and trying to figure out like what I really like to post, and getting into my stories, whatever. I love like dancing and getting into it, and that's just how I get pepped in the morning. And I found out when I got back from another coworker that she was making fun of me, like to my coworkers, and it's just like,
yeah,
they don't like
yeah.
they don't like tease me, but I it's just, I really don't care because I enjoy it, what I'm doing, but then I feel like it's hard for me to reach anybody at work because now she kind of like put a sour taste on it. Like there's people I know at work who were interested, but then I come back and then I find these things out. So I don't know like how to get around it.
Yeah. So how long have you been a coach, Rachel?
A year, but I've been like coaching actually since Morning Meltdown opened. So July.
Okay, so a couple of things for everybody to know, and I love how it was spun this weekend. I forget who said it. I think it would have been Trent Shelton. That first of all, we're going to all have haters. I mean, you know, I really haven't had any haters, I must say, because I'm not very. I don't know. I don't think I've had a lot of haters, but it doesn't. I'm sure I have, but they just haven't talked to me about it. So I think the thing is, if they're not talking about you, right, then there's a problem because you're probably not really drawing a line in the sand of who you're wanting to attract. That's one little thought. The second thing is, if they're talking about you, then they're obviously really interested. And they're confused supporters, is what he said. I love that. So they're confused supporters. And if these people at work are spinning it out and it might take a little time, I would say, until you just stay consistent and you keep showing up and you let them watch you for a while and wait, and then they're going to be coming around. Because if you're sharing good results and you're still positive, those are things that are not happening in their daily life, right? Mm-hmm. Their struggle is still real, and I would still speak to the aspiration of where they want to go, whether they want to eat healthier, have better relationships, lose weight, work out. Just keep talking about that, so that that can be their beacon of light, their North Star that they're going to follow. Because they're not going to follow somebody that's going to spin lies and spiral down. That might just be a momentary blip, and people will start questioning and doubting who you are. You just keep showing up and they will come around. Does that help?
Yeah.
Cool.
I think
yeah, go ahead.
I feel like maybe it's drawn more attraction.
Yeah.
You know, but because I think the part maybe of just how she worded it, like she's like, oh, she's gone off the deep end, she's cuckoo, and I was like, that's just
okay. So I wonder like, it's really kind of pointless to get into someone's head. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, there's something about the feeling that she had. Mm-hmm. Like, she's cuckoo, meaning you, like, yeah. Because either she's jealous or like she's lost your friendship. There's a loss in her. Like, there's something that doesn't obviously make her feel good when she says Rachel's cuckoo. So obviously she's choosing to feel yucky about the whole thing. And because she's saying that, like, don't you freaking feel sad for the sister-in-law? Like,
well,
I do.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for her. So instead of feeling, I guess the point is, there's nothing that you can do that, because otherwise you'll be in a situation where you're giving up your power when you're feeling like you have to control her. Like, I gotta make her freaking like me, and I gotta make her understand what I do is so great. Because if you're doing that, then it's all how you're saying that I can only feel at peace if sister-in-law is cool and we're all cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somebody said, Trent Shelton said, people are judging you, so give them something better to judge. If they're going to be judging you because you're going off the deep end, working out on your maternity leave, feeling good, when a lot of freaking moms are struggling with postpartum depression, they don't want to come back to work, they're a mess, and you're sharing the good, like, let them judge the good. Let them continue to judge the good that you're putting out there. Your transparency leads to transformation. That's another thing that that he said. And he also said this, and I thought this was really good. The people that we're all trying to impress on the internet will not be at our funerals. So who gives a shit? Right? I mean, she's your sister-in-law, but no, but I know Anna had this. We all had this. You guys, my mom, up until about a year ago, would ask me, this is how she'd ask me about my business, and I was doing this full time. How's selling Shakeology going? I was like, what in the fuck do you mean? Sorry, child just popped in the picture. But I was like, excuse me? You know what I said? I said, it's going really good. Because I didn't have to explain it to anybody. I didn't have to try to justify it to her. I didn't have to share how much I was making or share anything other than it's good and it makes me happy. That's it. So just keep doing you. I guarantee everybody who judges you will come back around and join you. So let them judge you until they join you, is what I have to say.
I wanted to just pipe in. I listened to a podcast by Rachel Hollis the other day, and she said that like that kind of emotion and reaction is simply just a self-reflection on their own insecurities. That just kind of resonated with me because I'm kind of dealing with the same thing as a new coach. And like even my sister has said things, and we're like best friends, talk every day. I was listening to a call with Emily Favre, one of the top coaches, because I got Success Club the first month. And she came over and she was like, that sounds boring as hell. And I was like, I'm learning. Like, I'm growing my mind and I'm going to do what I want to do. And you're going to be here to support me or not. And I'm just going to keep doing it. Like, I don't know. Just keep doing you.
I agree. I mean, I just think like, wow, I was pretty lonely before I started this. I hated my job. I came home and I complained every single day. I wasn't consistent with my workout routine. I was constantly gaining 10 pounds, losing 10 pounds. I gained 75 pounds when I was pregnant with Parker before I found this. Like, I feel like once you're so strong in your belief in this business and what it is you're doing, the opinions of other people are not going to have any effect on you. It's hurtful, yes, that she's talking about you, period, but that says more about her than it does you. And the people that she's saying it to think the same thing or they wouldn't have told you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm gonna wrap this last one up. Sally, and we will get into it with social media this week. I think it's on Wednesday night. But I also had, my husband didn't support me really the first 6 months. I mean, he just kind of was like, yeah, are you going to do this? Like, is it going to happen, kind of a thing. So I just keep working my business. It doesn't really matter what other people think. It's what I think. Now, when you put a post out there and you don't get any likes and comments or mentions or shares or whatever like that, I always say, am I happy with this right now? Like, is this the truth for me, what I'm writing? And if I'm happy with it and I hit click submit or whatever the button is, I forget, post, it's okay. Yeah, of course I go back and I'll look for likes and shares and, did they mention me? But if they didn't, it's okay, because I'm okay with it. And sometimes that people they're Weight Watchers, right? They're watching and waiting in the background for a while before they jump on the bandwagon. So you get lots of likes and comments, not sure how to connect with them privately. Okay. Well, I think the thing is, if you're not putting a call to action in the post, then then there's really there's no engagement, really, unless you're saying like, hey, how, drop a heart if you've had the bulimia too, or something like that. And then you can behind the scenes say, I'm here, I'm supporting you if you need any help, whatever. Or you've got to have some call to action, Sally, most likely, like, hey, I message me if you're kind of struggling with this. Yeah, go ahead, Theresa.
Yeah, I think the part where she's like, I struggle starting a conversation after a vulnerable post, like, hey, thanks for liking my bulimia post. Let's be friends. That wouldn't feel authentic to me, nor would it to you. Like Ashley said, does it feel right in that moment? Is that what you're feeling? Yes. But I think like how they said, don't share your wounds, share your scars. So talk about it more in your stories. I feel like your feed is more of a curated highlight reel, kind of. But in your stories, it gives you a chance to be super authentic and real and share, like, share whatever it is you feel compelled to share, and think about the one person that needs to hear it. Think about the conversation they're having. Maybe it's somebody who's where you were. What would you have needed to hear? What would have helped you? I think that's good. And I also, if you guys ever think like, oh, I only had 10 likes on my post, I only had whatever. Brendan made 100. He said, I remember on my post, I had 100 likes and I was not happy with it. And it was years after I was in the business and I was just frustrated. And he made 100 people in the room stand up. And it was like a whole row all the way back to the back of the conference room and then all the way back up the other side. And he said, I was upset that this many people were cheering for me. I was upset that this many people were supporting me. This many people that have families, that have lives, that have stressors of their own, took the time to support me. So don't ever discredit 1 like, 2 likes, because those are people that you have the opportunity to help. And with the I don't even know why I'm sharing this, because we'll probably share this in the social media thing, but like the number of followers, same thing. Would you rather have 10 million followers and only 10% of them are engaging with you, or would you rather have 1,000 followers where you feel like you're constantly engaging with 100 of them? You would much rather have more authentic engagement with 100 people than you would a bigger number on your feed. So, okay, cool. I know you wouldn't say that, but I get it. I mean, it's true. Like, thanks for liking my post on my thyroid and me feeling like crap for the last month and gaining a bunch of weight. Do you want to join my challenge group? Nope. Not going to invite you to it either because I don't feel like it. But I just think being our authentic self, showing your personality, sharing what you want to share, and then obviously consistently involving the business in some way and an invite in some way for them to join you so they know they can join you. But being authentic is going to connect you to the people that you're really going to be excited to work with. So anyway, I hope this helped tonight. Thank you so much for being on. I know the whole week is going to be filled with good content, and we'll do it again and through the entire month of October. So make sure you jump on, and I want to give you some advice too. Like when you're sharing pictures of the Zoom or sharing videos of the Zoom, people on the outside don't really know what that is. They just see a bunch of squares of people online. But if you share a takeaway from tonight or a quote from tonight or some inspiration or some value that could be added to your audience in text over the squares, they'll be like, that's what they talk about on those things. They're not talking about how to sell a bag of Shakeology. They're not talking about how to sell Energize. They're talking about how to authentically share on social media and help people in a bigger way. So share that, and you'll try.
Let me just say something about that really quick.
Yes.
Sorry, I have my camera off the whole time. Chloe was losing her fucking mind. Oh my God. literally she was like hyperventilating, telling me where to sit on the couch if I didn't sit in the exact spot. Like I was about to pack up and leave. Anyways, we're good now. We watched Beauty and the Beast, and you know the world continues to spin. But anyway, so what I was gonna say was 2 different women in the past week have said to me, I want to be in one of those squares with all those other happy people. 2 different women. I want to be one of those squares. So like, if you're not sharing your team call every week and then again saying what it is, not just plopping a picture up there, like people want to be a part of something and they need positivity in their life. So like, if you're not taking every opportunity to show what it is you actually do as a coach, you are missing out on amazing people.
I agree. That's how Julianne started, by the way. Her friend was on a Zoom in the other room and she was sitting on the couch and she was like, what are you doing? And she sat and eavesdropped and she's like, I want to be a part of that. That's it. And now Julianne's a stay-at-home mom, retired her and her husband, living in California with their baby. Boom. Share it. It's not stupid. All right, guys. Thank you. We're really ending this now. Nobody else is allowed to unmute. Bye. Just kidding. Bye, guys. Thank you.